Hey, welcome to a new video. Farms are primarily used for the production of food and crops, but sometimes farmers find something no one would expect. From strange artifacts to mysterious buried treasures, the countryside's full of surprises. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. In the year 2020, Australia faced a series of challenges that tested the resilience of its population. From devastating bushfires to a global pandemic, the country had already endured much. But it didn't stop there. Australia was hit by a mouse plague, with millions of mice running around parts of the eastern states. These rodents not only damaged crops, but also invaded homes. For instance, Guy Roth, who works on a research farm near the town of Narrabri in New South Wales, described how mice had completely taken over the property, with about 2 mice per 10 square feet at the peak of the plague. This amounted to approximately 20 million mice, more than the population of most major cities. Guy and his family fought against the mice daily, catching and removing about 100 of them from their house and offices. The mice not only caused damage to the cotton crops, but also ate stored grain in silos. One of the most disturbing aspects of the mouse plague was the smell of dead rodents permeating homes and farms. While the impact on human health was generally not severe, at least one case of a rare mouse-borne disease was reported. For 7 years, a father-son duo scoured all over a farmer's farm in Cumbria, England. One day, proof that the perseverance pays off was brought by a surprise. In the dirt was lying a Roman helmet that upon investigation was believed to have been last used by the Romans in sporting events. The helmet went up for sale, expecting to raise 300 pounds. But the duo eventually managed to sell the helmet for an incredible 2 million pounds. However, the men say that the money didn't change them. And the only thing the father would have spent his money on was a house for his daughters. What would you do if you were suddenly $1 million richer? Let me know in the comments. A potato farmer named Erkin Turbov stumbled upon a giant warrior statue while plowing his field in Kyrgyzstan. This nearly 10-foot-high stone statue was found near the village of Akbulun in the Issyk-Kul region. On October 15, 2022, Erkin came across what he initially thought was a large stone. Determined to remove the obstacle, he began digging, only to reveal a remarkable find. It turned out to be a carved stone statue used by the inhabitants of Central Asia in the first millennium to commemorate the dead. These statues were especially common among the nomadic Turks who ruled the land now known as Kyrgyzstan. The statue, described by Erkin as a great historical find, depicts a warrior wearing a helmet and armor. One hand holds a short sword, while the other is folded across the warrior's chest. Upon closer inspection, a historian noted special inscriptions on the head, a pendant around the neck, and the folded hand, suggesting that the person commemorated held an important title. Interestingly, this newly discovered statue is not the first of its kind in the region. Several similar statues have been found along the shores of Lake Issyk-Kul, indicating that this burial practice was widespread. Throughout the years, various fossils are found, but when you find the fossils of a giant armadillo that went extinct 10,000 years ago, it's pretty special. They were no ordinary armadillos, as they were about 5 feet or 1.5 meters long. It was the first time 4 of these species were found in the same place. In fact, they were all facing the same direction. This led to the theory that the group led by a male was trying to move the female and the rest of their young to safety. In 1953, a terrifying incident occurred when a man's father shot and brought home a large creature in a swamp. This video shows one of the preserved body parts, a hand, which was frozen and taken out of the freezer for examination. Upon closer inspection, the hand displays remarkable features, including giant nails that resemble those of a humanoid. The person presenting the video is the chairman of the Bigfoot Committee, and he believes that Bigfoots have an extraterrestrial origin. To support his belief, he demonstrates that when the hand and a shovel come into contact, they stick together, suggesting that the hand has magnetic properties. This leads him to speculate that the creature's body might exhibit magnetic characteristics. He further tests this hypothesis by attempting the same experiment with a knife, which also sticks to the palm. However, he keeps all his findings far from his home and firmly believes that the government should not be involved in this matter. This next story is very bizarre. A ball of twisted metal came from Earth, was launched into space, and then swung its way back to the ground to land on a farm. James Sturton was riding his bike when he noticed a detail that didn't fit the usual landscape of his cattle farm in Queensland, Australia. Experts say the 44-pound or 20-kilogram metal ball was likely part of a rocket that launched a US solar satellite into space more than a year ago. Parts of the satellite were expected to land in Indonesia and not in Australia, leaving a bit of a mystery. In January 2021, an image of a crying farmer from Bundelkhand, northern India drew attention. A rumor about a flying saucer crashing on a farm quickly spread through Chhatarpur. causing people to flock to see the alleged alien. However, the farmer's distress was not due to the alien, but to the destruction of his standing crops. In the arid region of Bundelkhand, having a field with standing crops is rare. Nathu, the farmer in question, lives in the village of Karakasar, about 43 miles from the district headquarters of Chhatarpur and 280 miles from Bhopal. On New Year's Day, he and his fellow villagers saw a shiny object in the sky, which descended for a crash landing. Within minutes, speculation about a UFO turned into stories about aliens, leading to frantic calls to the police. The commotion caused by the rumor not only disrupted his farm, but also captivated the curiosity of surrounding communities. You hear about king rats and assume they're a royal family of rodents, but the reality is much more gruesome. King rats, like this one found in a flooded Russian watermelon field, are a pair of rats that mysteriously tangle with their tails. The more they try to go on different directions, the more complicated the knot becomes. According to local farmers, it's said to be a bad omen, believed to herald plagues and famines. The first mention of rat kings dates back to 1564. Their appearance is associated with the Black Death. While working in the field, Barry Sauchuk and his eldest son made an intriguing discovery of an unusual piece of debris on their grain farm near Ituna, Canada. Initially, they thought it was trash, but they soon realized it was something much more interesting. The family has been farming in eastern Saskatchewan for 5 generations and is used to finding debris. But this find was unique. They transported the 99-pound object back home and began a search for answers. People speculated that it could be a part of a satellite or something that re-entered the atmosphere due to its charred appearance. The object displayed characteristics of a carbon fiber composite, aluminum honeycomb, and composite carbon at the rear. The strange thing is that similar cases have been observed before, including a bizarre find from the 1960s. What do you think this object actually is? And is it alarming that something similar was found in the 1960s? This video was captured on a farm without goats, where a farmer went outside only to encounter a creature with horns. When the farmer saw this, he was immediately startled. The creature looked like a hybrid of a human and a goat, and cautiously observed the farmer before retreating into the nearby bushes. The association between goats and the devil has various origins and interpretations. In some religious and mythological contexts, goats are associated with sin rejection and sacrifice. For example, in the Bible, goats were used as sacrificial animals, and the concept of the scapegoat symbolized the transfer of sins. The Greek god Pan, depicted as half human, half goat, was labeled as the devil by early Christians, further reinforcing the connection between goats and satanic imagery. What could the farmer have captured on camera here? Unfortunately, we may never know exactly. Similar creatures appear in Greek mythology, with the lower body of a goat and the upper body of a human. They are often associated with nature, force, and untamed aspects of the world. A 69-year-old farmer named Michael Woodson was looking for a missing cow when he spotted a 40-foot or 12-meter-long humpback whale on one of his fields. At first, he wondered if it was a hoax, but since there was no evidence of cars or machinery large enough to transport a real whale, the theory was ignored. What did come to light were a lot of calls to authorities from people who saw a strange flying object flying over the area. How do you think this whale ended up in the field? In April 2013, Professor Calvin from the University of Minnesota received a message from farmers Bruce and Nelva Lilienthal. The couple shared photos of a peculiar stone they had discovered a few years earlier while clearing their cornfield in Arlington, Minnesota. The stone measured about 16 by 12 inches and was about 2 inches thick. What caught their attention was its surprising weight of 33 pounds, 15 kilograms, 3 times heavier than a typical stone of similar size on Earth. Upon investigation, it was found that the stone consisted of iron and contained about 8% nickel, a characteristic feature of meteorites. Terrestrial iron objects typically contain minimal amounts of nickel, whereas iron stones from space usually have a nickel content of 5 to 20%. The microscope also revealed a characteristic pattern of nickel-iron crystals, which is exclusive to meteorites. Professor Calvin strongly believes that the meteorite belongs to a rare class of non-magnetic meteorites that originate from molten pools on asteroids, formed by the impact of other rocks. In May 2024, a peculiar sighting occurred on a farm in Chalatenango, El Salvador. Security cameras captured 2 livestock animals lying quietly on the ground at night when a small figure with a large head walked by, only to disappear from sight. This mysterious entity, described as an armless goblin, exhibited an unusual way of walking and had no visible upper limbs. The incident attracted the attention of Spanish ufologist Julio, who analyzed the security camera footage. He noted that the unknown creature walked between the animals until it reached a point where it disappeared. This intriguing sighting led to online debates, with many speculating whether the creature was a mythical being or even of extraterrestrial origin. The path of destruction left by this boulder is mind-boggling. This strange occurrence took place in northern Italy after a landscape caused a giant boulder to roll down the mountain like a bowling ball. The boulder narrowly missed the farmhouse, coming to a stop against a barn at one point. Believe it or not, but a second boulder was found behind the house. Fortunately, the family inside got away unharmed. An astonishing discovery by a retired poultry farmer has fascinated experts, who have identified it as an unknown amphibian species from the Triassic period. This breathtaking fossil offers a glimpse into the life of the ancient creature when it once swam through the freshwater streams of the Sydney Basin, approximately 240 million years ago. While cleaning a sandstone slab he had purchased nearly 3 decades ago, the man discovered fossilized remains of a 5-foot-long creature older than the dinosaurs. The amphibian species, named Aranepiton supinatus, offers a captivating window into the past with its remarkably well-preserved body. Notable details include fang-like canines embedded in its head and sharp teeth around its jaws. This unique fossil belongs to a group of extinct animals known as temnospondyls, which lived both before and during the dinosaur era. Aranepiton stands out with its robust build, distinctive teeth, and fang-like canines on the roof of its mouth. This species thrived in the freshwater rivers of what is now known as the Sydney Basin during the Triassic period, 240 million years ago. While Aranepiton's head shape resembles that of the modern Chinese giant salamander, its estimated length of 4 foot makes it remarkable, as it is larger than most contemporaries from the same period. So far, we've shown you some strange and fascinating findings on farms, but the next one is downright terrifying. This story went viral on the internet a few years ago, and was about a pig that gave birth to a human hybrid offspring. The story also claimed that the hybrid did not breathe more than a few times, and that its limbs moved only a few times, causing people to quickly panic. Some people dismissed it as a natural phenomenon, while others claimed it was some kind of omen. The desert locust is known as the most destructive migratory pest in the world, capable of causing significant devastation. Even a small swarm can consume as much food in one day as 35,000 people. Some swarms have been reported to be as wide as 25 miles. This poses a severe threat to food security, with an estimated 13 million people at risk. And if the crisis continues, another 20 million people could be in the same danger. The historical precedent of a similar locust invasion in the 1950s that led to famine in Kenya adds to the urgency of the situation. What you see in this video was filmed in 2020 in Maralal, Kenya, and is said to be the worst desert locust invasion in 25 years. The destructive capabilities of the desert locust are well documented. A single swarm can travel up to 90 miles a day and can contain up to 80 million locusts. The Red Gate area near Deer Lodge has built a reputation as a hotspot for paranormal and UFO activity. This place is widely known for the government's acknowledgement of the existence of mysterious objects in the sky that scientists cannot explain. Residents of Montana have been witnessing these phenomena for years, with Montana ranking among the top 5 states with the highest UFO sightings. The region is rich in paranormal activity, with reports of unexplained lights in the sky and other unexplainable phenomena. People have reported extraordinary objects suddenly flying through the sky and appearing out of nowhere. Moreover, there are stories of people in the area experiencing their cars suddenly stalling without apparent reason. Donald Bromley from Deer Lodge shared his personal experience with paranormal activity in the Red Gate area. 2 years ago, he set up a trail camera and captured an eerie ghost-like figure that caught the attention of paranormal investigators across the country. The captured image showed features consistent with the typical image of an alien, with a larger bulbous head and a transparent appearance. Legends surrounding the Red Gate area add to its eerie reputation. According to local stories, there was once a tragic incident where a man came home from work, murdered his entire family, and painted their gate red with their blood. You probably heard of crop circles, the mysterious patterns in fields that appear at night. But did you know that there's a specific area of the world where these crop circles are a big mystery? Welcome to Wiltshire, England, associated with the ancient Stonehenge site. And here is an incredible abundance of crop circles. Reports began in the 1970s describing hieroglyphic and animal patterns in wheat, corn, and barley fields. Although some people think they come from aliens, others think the crop circles are controlled by authorities. What do you think? In May 2018, a rancher near the town of Denton encountered a mysterious creature that prompted him to shoot it as it approached his livestock from a few hundred meters away. Wildlife experts were called in to investigate, but were unable to definitively identify the species. After examining the creature, they ruled out the possibility that it was a wolf due to its unusually short teeth, abnormally small forelimbs, and disproportionately large claws. Speculation and bizarre theories quickly spread online, suggesting that the creature could be a werewolf or even a relative of Bigfoot. However, a press release came out that responded to these theories. stating that the creature was a young, non-lactating female canid. A canid belongs to the dog family, including dogs, foxes, coyotes, and wolves. The researchers, however, acknowledged certain peculiarities about the creature, such as its oversized ears, slightly shorter legs, small feet, and unusual fur, leading them to admit that there was something undeniably unusual about it. Others are convinced that it could be a dire wolf, a dog man, or a chupacabra, creatures straight out of mythology. In an exciting video that has taken the internet by storm, a farmer finds himself in a truly remarkable encounter with nature. As he navigates through the calm waters with his tractor, he has no idea that a potentially dangerous confrontation awaits him. He drives through the water on his tractor, seemingly unaware of the impending danger lurking beneath the surface. Suddenly, with a burst of adrenaline-inducing energy, a colossal crocodile leaps from the depths and lands on the tractor's spinning wheel. The enormous size of the crocodile is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. However, the reptile quickly realizes its mistake as it feels the immense force of the spinning wheel under its formidable weight. In a moment of instinctual survival, the crocodile hastily jumps off the spinning wheel and retreats into the water from which it came. If you're ever unlucky, remember that one day you can also get lucky just like this man. A farmer from India received the best gift of his life. In fact, he found a pot of gold. And not just any small pot, but one that weighed a whopping 11 pounds or 5 kilograms. To be sure, the pot was sent to the authorities to be examined. They confirmed it and made the farmer a very rich person. The seemingly ordinary backyard of Liam Ward has turned into an extraordinary discovery that has captured the imagination of archaeologists and history enthusiasts. It all began with the unearthing of a mysterious buried chain, leading to a network of underground tunnels and secret rooms dating back to the Prohibition era. Driven by curiosity, Liam decided to investigate further after discovering the chain on a Saturday morning. As he researched the history of the area, he uncovered intriguing stories of disused mines, rumors of buried pirate treasure, and the use of tunnels for smuggling alcohol. His investigation led him to a newspaper article from the 1920s describing the infamous gangster Vincent the Snake Moretti, who was reportedly hiding a valuable collection of jewelry and money before he disappeared without a trace. Fascinated by the possibility of discovering a piece of history, Ward enlisted the help of local historians and seasoned treasure hunters. Together, they formed a dedicated team, armed with metal detectors and a wealth of historical knowledge, that converged on Liam's property. With careful excavation, a collection of wooden crates emerged, bearing Moretti's unmistakable signature. Inside the crates lay a treasure trove of Prohibition-era alcohol, preserved and untouched for decades. A mysterious creature with the characteristics of both a monkey and a bat was captured on video feasting on a goat in Indonesia. However, when it starts moving, its peculiar nature becomes even clearer. It gives the impression of being primarily aquatic, adding to the terror of its existence if this creature is indeed real. At first glance, one might mistake it for a giant bat, but its enormous size and oversized head dispel this notion. What is truly intriguing is its long, thin, hook-like hands, which allow it to hold onto the goat firmly and bite from underneath, making it nearly impossible to escape. The farmers manage to remove the creature from the goat and chase it into the water, a scene more terrifying than most horror movies. The creature exhibits movements that suggest it tends to avert its eyes from bright light, adding to its enigmatic nature. Some people speculate that it could be a type of leech-like creature that has adapted to terrestrial environments. Remarkably, it also has fur. Eric Howard, a farmer in Colorado, USA, put his life on the line to uniquely put an end to a wildfire that had broken out on a field near Weld County. This fire had destroyed about 30 acres of an 80-acre hayfield. The farmer, however, had a brilliant idea. A few feet from the flames, he drove his tractor to dig a fire line. Spectators held their breath and watched as the farmer chased the fire and cut off the road, saving the rest of the hayfield. In northeastern Egypt, a farmer came across a carved sandstone slab believed to have been placed during the reign of Pharaoh Apries about 2,600 years ago. This standing stone, known as a stele, measures an impressive 91 inches in length and 41 inches in width. It is adorned with an image of a winged sun disk and Egyptian hieroglyphs representing Apres. It likely served as a gravestone or symbol of dedication, commemoration, and demarcation. Within the stele, 15 lines of hieroglyphs are inscribed, presenting a fascinating challenge for experts involved in their translation. Apries, also known as WWII in Hebrew, reigned as the fourth monarch of the 26th dynasty from about 589 to 570 BC. This campaign, mentioned in the stele's inscription, may relate to the conflict in Jerusalem or possibly a civil war within Egypt. The ancient Greek historian Herodotus described a coup against Apries, with General Amasis being declared pharaoh, leading to a failed attempt by Apries to regain power. Aprius ruled during Egypt's late period from 664 to 332 BC, over 2,000 years after the construction of the pyramids of Giza and more than 200 years before the arrival of Alexander the Great. Historians primarily rely on accounts from Herodotus and the Torah to compile information about Apries, as few artifacts from his reign in Lower Egypt have been discovered. You've heard of the king rat, but what about the squirrel king? Although it rarely happens, squirrels can get their tails tied together in the same way. As you can see here, when they're in a tree or a group of 5 on the ground, this happens after they have spent months or considerable time in their nest. You can imagine how dangerous it is to achieve the status of king. This is because the squirrels aren't able to find food, hide from predators, and are in danger of being injured. 2 farmers in Bahia, Brazil were exploring their land when they unexpectedly encountered a giant creature trying to burrow into the ground. The enormous size of the creature astonished them. Giant armadillos, the largest species of armadillos, are distinguished by their unique appearance and behavior, measuring up to 5 feet in length and weighing about 132 pounds. They have a distinctive armored shell consisting of bony plates known as scutes, covering their head, back, and tail. Giant armadillos are native to Central and South America and are particularly found in parts of Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Argentina. They primarily inhabit tropical rainforests, grasslands, and savannas. However, due to habitat loss and hunting, their range has become fragmented. Unfortunately, giant armadillos are considered vulnerable due to various threats, including habitat destruction, hunting, and road accidents. How would you react if you encountered this gigantic animal on your farm? Let me know in the comments. One day while grazing in his parents' pasture in eastern Kenya, a farmer stumbled upon a real World War II bomb. It was believed that the bomb was left behind during the war, or that local soldiers used it during training when they occupied the area in the 1990s. However, the village was not too happy about this discovery. And by the way, this was not the first time a bomb was discovered on a farm. An event known as the wild boar hunt with an abundant harvest took place near Prague in the Czech Republic during December 2022. An advertisement showed an image of what appeared to be dozens of wild boars lying on the ground. Wild boar hunting is popular in the country due to the high population of wild boars and the damage they can cause to agricultural crops. This wild boar hunt in the Czech Republic can take various forms, including collective hunts and individual hunts. In collective hunts, a group of hunters works together to drive the boars toward the waiting hunters. Individual hunts, on the other hand, typically involve waiting at a strategic location until the boars approach. Regarding the impact on populations, wild boar hunting can help manage their numbers and limit the damage they cause to crops. The Czech Republic has seen an increase in the number of wild boars over the years, indicating the need for population control. Half goat and half human should be something you only see in movies. But people who found this thinks it's a cursed mutant devil. What you see here was captured on a farm in the Philippines. The story goes like this. The mother goat allegedly gave birth to twins. While the first goat baby looked perfectly normal, the second had an appearance similar to that of a human. Unfortunately, we couldn't find if this story is true. But do you think it's possible? Let me know in the comments. In the heart of vast farmlands in the eastern province of Zhejiang in China lies a village with a fascinating and somewhat dangerous secret. Zixiqiao Village, also known as the Snake Village, has gained notoriety for its thriving snake trade, generating significant income for the local community. The village is home to cobras, vipers, and pythons, many of which are venomous. It all began in the 1980s when a farmer named Yang Hongchang started selling snakes he caught in the area to animal traders. Concerned about depleting the wild snake population, he began researching how to breed snakes at home. Today, more than 3 million snakes are bred annually in the village by the 160 farming families, generating millions of dollars. Snakes have long been recognized for their medicinal properties in traditional Chinese medicine. They are often used in the form of soups or wines believed to boost immunity. Snake products, including snakes and snake-based medicines, are in high demand due to increasing prosperity and a government initiative to breed animals for traditional medicine. The success of the snake trade has transformed Zixiqiao from a once poor village into a relatively prosperous community. Imagine finding the biggest snake you've ever seen. This group stumbled upon such a scene. Only fortunately, it was hibernating. In case you didn't know, snakes go into hibernation. The inactive state they adopt is called brumation and is attributed to their cold-blooded nature. The more the temperature drops, the slower they become, and the more they seek shelter. Places for snakes to hide are holes, caves, tree stumps, or an underground space where they can stay warm. Yet, that doesn't mean they stay asleep completely. In fact, snakes in brumation are known to come out to be in the sunlight. Originally, before he was making history, James Bristol thought he had found an old fence post. In reality, he found the discovery of the century, because on his soybean farm near Chelsea in Michigan, USA, lay a creature that had remained undiscovered for thousands of years. Even stranger was when experts found out upon investigation that the woolly mammoth did not pass away peacefully. It's thought to have gone extinct about 11,000 and 15,000 years ago. In April 2022, a farmer in the Gaza Strip stumbled upon a remarkable artifact that would reveal a glimpse into the ancient past. While working his land in the east of Khan Yunis, the man made an extraordinary discovery. He found a 4,500-year-old statue of Anat, the revered goddess of love, beauty, and war from Canaanite mythology. Anat's depiction with a snake as a crown suggests a deep connection to the goddess Athena, the Greek deity of war, who's often surrounded by snakes. The statue, made of limestone, is estimated to date back to 2500 BC for Nadal. This discovery had deep historical significance, affirming the rich heritage of the Palestinian people in this land and its Canaanite origins. Driven by a deep sense of connection, he decided not to sell the precious piece. The name Canaan carries historical weight and appears in ancient Egyptian writings dating back to the 15th century BC, as well as in the Old Testament. These texts refer to lands encompassing parts of modern-day Syria. Israel, Jordan, and Palestinian territories, where the worship of local deities and local temples was prevalent. Have you ever found anything on a farm? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.